And you're not terrified of me?
No. Should I be?
I just think it's kind of weird. I mean, usually people run by now.
I loved this movie, and you were one of my favorite parts of it. So I'm excited to chat. But it was such a cool kind of evolution of like what we think of when we think of these movies. I feel like your character is so not what we would expect from a ghost in a Ghostbusters movie. Were you worried at all about how that was gonna be received by people?
Yeah, I think so. And I didn't realize I should be worried about it until like, later, I think. So not when I was, obviously wanted to do it justice. I knew that there had never been a ghost like this, a kind of a human, real human relationship ghost. So, I I thought it was a great idea, to be honest. I think it's really cool. I agree. Like how it unfolded and adding that to this universe, I thought it really worked. But I guess my fear, I think with anything is like even doing a continuation, or you'd say like a sequel or whatever to these movies is these brilliant movies that I loved when I was little, and like as a fan specifically also deeply deeply care that what you do next after it does it justice and keeps its legacy. It's like that for a reason, and so there's an immense pressure there on top of that, because you're like, I have so much empathy for understanding like the fans and how important and sacred it is to do justice for this thing that was so great, and it can continue to be great. But we can't fuck it up. That would
Yeah.
suck. Like, what if that would suck if I'm like, they're like, Ghostbusters, and then like Emily came in, and then all like Emily came in, and then it just from there it was over. And she ruined it all.
Yeah.
She had a very powerful performance. She ruined the franchise.
Well, speaking of ruining it all, ruining it all, I saw that Gil Kenan said Phoebe, McKenna Grace's character, is going to be at the center of like future films.
I feel like someone told me that too. Like they're like future films. Like, oh, okay, so he's doing.
Yeah. Well, but so like after this relationship with a ghost, she's got to be seeing ghosts differently. Like, did Melody ruin
Right.
Phoebe's ability to be a good Ghostbuster?
That is so interesting and psychologically intriguing. I haven't thought about that. God, it's so relationships are just so complicated. I wonder. I kind of thought that too, but there's kind of like this. It's like the ET universe, right? Where it's like I love like I love these characters because even with you say like slime or something like that. They're like a connection, like human ghost connection, right? Like ET or these extraterrestrial things, very Steven, where it's like we love our monsters, kind of. There's a heart to our monsters, right? And I think that Phoebe's always kind of, she walks a fine line, and she does it so great, which is like, she's emotional, like she's zapping like the ghost, but it doesn't feel like, I never feel bad for the ghosts, you know what I mean? Like I would feel bad if, like you can tell she's hesitant to not zap me, right? So yeah, I like that about her character, and I like that about these movies.
I saw that you, when you were first signing on to this, didn't know you were playing a ghost, which that was crazy. What did you know? Like, did you know that you were going to be as key to the finale of the whole thing as you ended up being?
Well, okay, so I didn't go to meet Gil in London until I had read a script, but I had met him in New York, and we had lunch, and it was kind of looking like this process was going forward. It had been like a couple steps, and then I was like, I need to see a script, but it was kind of cool because he really just didn't even come close to mentioning that. I had no idea. Like, he was just like, yeah, there's a twist. So let me know after you read it. I go, oh, wait, the audition literally says, one of the lines is, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm like literally like 100 years old. And I didn't pick up on that at all. Where I guess because it's like it was right in front of me, so I couldn't see it. But it's just so funny. Yeah. I was super excited. I was like, thought it'd be a friend or something like of someone, but it happened to be a badass ghost character, which is always fun.
There are so many theories about Melody's life and like where she lived. Like, do you know more about her backstory than we do?
I have an idea in my head, kind of like I've made up stories about this and kind of talked with Gil about it a bit. He has all these wonderful kind of thoughts on that as well. But I think that it's kind of up to viewers to decide that for themselves. I think I know that she's like a weirdo. Like, that was like the most important thing for me, was that she didn't seem, because the scenes are scattered and there's so much going on in the movie. So we don't have much time to get to know Melody. So I thought, the best thing to do was make her a bit wacky, because the truth is, and like have this, kind of be myself, because you see this character and you're kind of like, I might not know literally what happened, but I know that this isn't just, this is happening for a reason, that she probably contains multitudes, and like this could be a crazy story in and of itself. But no, we're not going to find out for real. So it's kind of like up to the viewer's imagination, which I think is really cool. But I think Melody had a crazy past and is like an old soul, literally and figuratively, and had always been. And I think that I'm going to go on Reddit after this conversation and read all of them. So thanks for telling me that.
There's a crazy one about like her being in the building where like Garaka was in prison, and that's why it was cold, and that's why she lit the mat. It was like a whole thing. So you should look at it.
I love that. Amazing. Yeah, no, that's what I think too.
Yeah.
That was me. That's me.
That's you on Reddit.
Big Daddy 64. Oh, that was my theory on Reddit. Yeah.
Perfect. Of course, Melody gets her ending at the end of this movie. She kind of, goes away, but in an alternate version where she sticks around and like keeps building a relationship with Phoebe. Have you thought about what that would be like? What kinds of things they would do? How the relationship would grow?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's room for more characters in the franchise, but I think that would be amazing, just because of course I want to keep doing Ghostbusters movies if I can, because I had so much fun. But I don't know, and I've thought about that. I think that I'm sure, I think that they have a lot left to a different time, different place, maybe, like I think Melody has some stuff to work on, some like some psychological stuff. She needs to go to therapy a little bit. She needs to go see her family again, tie that up, tie up some loose ends. 100 years or whatever is a long time to, a long time to be away. So I think that maybe she needs to figure that out a little bit and come back a little healthier, healthier person, because I think that they both have a lot to learn, but I think that they'd have such a fun story. Like that story, I love it. I really do. Not just because I'm in it, but like those two characters, Melody and Phoebe together, they're just such outcasts. They're so different, but the same in the way that they're nerds, they're special, they're wacky, they're like they're outcasts. And one of them is literally a ghost and everyone's scared of her. And then the other one's a Ghostbuster and no one's giving her, no one trusts her. And so they're kind of just like figuring it out together. And it's a beautiful teenage friendship, relationship, whatever. At the same time, it's so complicated. So I think there's always room to see more of that. So I hope that we do, I guess.
That is great. I think that's all I've got for you. But thank you for the time and congrats on this. You were so good in this. It's such a fun.
Owen, really appreciate that.
Of course. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
I'll see you in the fabric of the universe.